The other day, I stood in front of a window and saw my reflection staring back at me. This person who has it all, a beautiful apartment, lavish clothes and purses, and a thriving art business. It's everything that I ever wanted, and yet I saw so much pain behind my eyes. And that's something that society can't see in any of us, who we really are behind the masks we wear in front of people. Who really knows you? Who really knows me? Chances are nobody really does. Because behind my success, behind my radical independence, the art business and all the glitz and glamour is the spark that started it all. The spark that created my relentless drive and motivation to become a successful artist. And that was, and still is, actually a trauma response. And I think that's the case for many of us. We're so determined to succeed and live this radically independent life, not because we actually want to, but because we've been conditioned to believe that that's the right way to live. We've been conditioned to believe that having a high-paying job, buying a house, a car, and living completely independently is the norm. And on top of that, you also feel pressured to maintain friendships, look thin and presentable, eat healthy, maintain a clean and tidy home. Well, you get the picture. And if you don't meet those societal expectations, then everyone seems to look down on you, like something is wrong with you, when in reality, nothing is wrong with you. What's wrong is the pressure we feel to become successful and radically independent, especially as women. So I'm here today to talk about that. So throughout history, women have been marginalized and denied equal rights and opportunities. We weren't allowed to vote, to own property, to attend universities, and the list goes on and on. So radical independence has become like a response to this kind of historical oppression, to this kind of trauma. But it also came with a cost. Because over time, these weird cultural expectations develop that celebrate independent women who can manage their careers, personal lives, and finances without relying on anyone else. You see, the pressures from families, friends, and even from the media, especially when it comes to single moms. We're expected to earn a living while cooking, cleaning, and taking care of our kids, all the while showing that we're super moms and that we're so strong and resilient. And yes, single mothers are strong and resilient, but the pressure to be that way or feel that way is unnecessary. And the more we give in to those pressures, the more we become someone that society wants us to be. But is that someone that you want to be? Like many people, I had a rough childhood. I always felt like I was walking on eggshells with my mom, who was very mentally unstable. And I felt so misunderstood and unloved, and that caused me to mature and grow up really fast. And by the time I was 12, I was working several after-school jobs, like delivering papers after school, working at the local market, or working at a shop, all sorts of jobs. And so from a very young age, I was taught that it was essential to be independent and self-sufficient, especially when it came to having a well-paying job. I was also pressured to pursue a good education, rent my own home, pay my own bills, and live completely independently without a partner or anybody to help me. It felt like I wasn't allowed to ask for help. I had to do everything on my own, figuring out everything on my own, and just thought this was normal, like this was the right way to live. Because that's what I was taught. And on one hand, I don't think I would be where I am today if it wasn't for this kind of trauma response that I developed. I don't think I would have started a beauty business or lived out my dream of being an artist. But at the same time, I wish there was a different or a better way to learn those lessons without feeling forced or pressured to do so. Because even today, I still carry that kind of trauma response with me. I'm always juggling all these tasks and responsibilities by myself, like running my own business, balancing motherhood, maintaining a full-time job, and working independently, all while trying to maintain a perfect and presentable image, like I have everything under control. But here's the thing, nobody has everything under control. No matter how independent and self-sufficient we are, all of us are struggling in silence with something. And yes, some people are brave enough to ask for help, which is wonderful. But there are still so many others out there who feel pressured to solve all their problems on their own, to figure out everything without asking for help. And I can only hope that in time these pressures of radical independence will start to slow down and come to a complete stop. Because it's not in anybody's right to pressure you to become somebody that you don't want to be. I think there's a lot of double standards when it comes to women. And yes, it's unfair. And yes, I hope things will change sometime soon. But at the same time, there's no right or wrong way to live your life. If being radically independent and self-sufficient is important to you, then I think that's wonderful. Because at the end of the day, I think it's important for you to make your own choices, regardless of what other people or what society is telling you to do. I guess it just comes down to doing what you want to do without caring about what other people think, which I know is definitely easier said than done. And maybe I'll do a video in the future talking about that. I'm just at a point where I'm doing a lot of reflecting on my life and thinking about how I got to where I am and what it costs me. I don't really regret any of it. I just wish my family and society showed me a little bit more kindness along the way. And I think that's what the world needs a little bit more of. I'm so glad I was finally able to open up about some of these things, because this is such a deeply personal topic for me. And I think by reflecting on my life and talking about like where my drive for success really came from, it allowed me to process these thoughts and better accept my life for what it has become. So let me know in the comments if you've ever been pressured to be self-sufficient or radically independent. And be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more content, and stay tuned for new topics coming up soon. I see you in the next. Bye!